broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin! All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough.
I am your host, Teresa Law, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 8, Show Day Showdown of House of DVF. I am joined on the phone by...
Hey, you guys, it's Kristina Zias. I am talking to you from New York right now, but I couldn't miss this episode.
No, this was such a big episode. And we also have Anastacia Waller on her way. She'll be joining us in the studio shortly. But first impressions, what did you think of this final episode, Kristina?
I loved it. It gave me everything that I wanted, everything that I needed. I'm so happy that we actually saw the girls in action during Fashion Week. I mean, how excited to be backstage for a DVF show.
That was such a great challenge for DVF to give the girls. I thought it was just a way to really see who could rise to the occasion. And, you know, we saw Kier, Brittany, and Amanda really step up to the plate. And ultimately, Brittany took home the grand title of brand ambassador. I am
so excited that she won.
I am so excited, too. I think she was definitely the right person for it. You know, we talked about it last week, and we were all rooting for her. And I think it was really well-deserved.
Absolutely. And you definitely saw it in this episode. I feel like throughout the season, you know, like we kind of like bounced around a little bit, but in the last couple of episodes, and especially in last night's episode, you really saw that she was for sure the most qualified and deserving, I feel, for the role.
Absolutely. Well, the episode starts out with DVF. She's walking on the High Line, and she's reflecting on this whole experience and thinking through about all the challenges the girls went through. And, you know, she talks about Kier and how far she's come along. And I totally didn't remember that she sold her eggs to come to Fashion Week. Did you remember that?
I know. I forgot about that, too.
Yeah. DVF says that she really fights against Kier's bad side, but deep down, she really is a good girl. And she gets it, and she's ambitious. And then DVF talks a little bit about Brittany, and she thinks Brittany is the most qualified. And, you know, she has her bad attitude, but we've really seen her brush it up in the past few episodes. And DVF sees her as a leader, and she's also an established stylist. So, you know, we kind of get a feel of where DVF's head is at.
When you were watching that intro part, were you like, okay, yeah, Brittany's got it in the bag, or were you still kind of like unsure?
I was still kind of unsure. I thought Brittany had a really good chance of getting it, but I think ultimately it was between Brittany and Amanda for me.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I thought it was between Brittany and Kier, and I don't know why. I'm definitely happy that Brittany won, and I think that she deserved the position. But to me, I felt like Kier seemed like the next best option.
Right.
I think I just really wasn't a fan of Amanda in the past few episodes, because I do feel like she does kind of slide by, and also she feels very immature to me. The way she was arguing and like picking up petty fights, I just didn't necessarily see her as a brand ambassador.
Well, we see DVF and the team deliberate on the three girls. And I remember last week you were saying that you really wanted to know who Stephanie was rooting for. And, you know, she was deliberating and she said, is Amanda enough? You know, and she's not sure. And DVF says she's not sure that she has enough life experience either.
Totally. I mean, she's only 21 years old.
Right.
And I think she's a mature 21-year-old, but she's still 21 years old, you know?
Absolutely. And then we hear, of course, Jessica speak up for Amanda. and she isn't shy about having Amanda as her favorite, as we've seen in the past. Yes.
Part of me hates that Jessica just picks favorites like that, but then part of me really gives credit to Jessica for picking a favorite and not even being ashamed of it or care.
No, not at all. She wasn't shy about it.
Not at all. She was like, "You are my favorite." I'm telling DVF, I'm letting Stephanie know too. Boom, bye, see you, Brittany and Kier. That's pretty much what she was saying.
Not only that, but she's very outspoken about Brittany too, especially in that deliberation.
Totally.
I was a little shocked at how aggressive she was when she was talking about Brittany. She said that Brittany was insincere and she was a backstabber. Those are fighting words.
I mean, like, yes, especially like backstabber. What did Brittany do to, deserve that name or that title?
Yeah, I don't think anything she did deserved that title.
Jessica's just hating. I think Jessica's scared that Brittany is eventually going to take her job permanently.
That could be
so
it.
So that's why.
It'll be interesting to see them, we're not going to be able to see them, but it'll be interesting to hear like how they end up working together if it all works out.
Absolutely.
DVF says that she has a protective thing on Kier and she wants to turn her into the good Kier. But then she says this isn't really a rehab program. So we'll see how that turns out for Kier when this episode or when this whole journey is done and she moves on. And then Stephanie doesn't really have an idea, who she's rooting for because it's just a tough decision.
I wish we saw more of Stephanie having a real opinion on the girls because she just kind of like flips and flops all over the place. But I mean, so did we. It's hard.
Yeah, definitely. So then we find out that the girls have the challenge of running the rehearsal for her spring 2015 fashion show. They're going to be handling preparations. They're going to be dealing with seating. And, seating is very important. You have to pay attention to where and how you seat people. So this is a really intense challenge. And like I mentioned before, DVF is really, trusting in the girls to let them run such a critical part of the show. What did you think about that? Were you surprised?
No, I mean, I'm sure they weren't doing it totally solo. I think it is a really good test because one, seating is so important. The fashion show is really everything. And so much goes into it that I think people don't really understand. I think people think of Fashion Week as such a glamorous period for all these designers, but there's so much work that goes into it. So I think it's important for these girls to see the not so glamorous sides of the business as well. Being a brand ambassador is awesome. You get to travel the world and represent the company, but it's not all that schmoozing. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it.
Right, and we get to see a lot of the stressful situations that the girls run into. One of them I thought was pretty funny was the situation with Kier and her having to wrangle the bottles. So
that is just so uncomfortable.
So awkward.
Did you feel bad for her during this part, or were you kind of like, what are you doing?
I was cringing. I was like, what are you doing? You can't talk to her like you talk to your friends or the other contestants. She was just very aggressive, and she got in this model's face and really rubbed the model the wrong way. And
I think the part is you have to be aggressive, but she's not. She didn't come off as a leader or as an authoritative.
No,
she was kind of just nagging at the girl.
Oh yeah, and we found out later from one of the production crew that models have to be very delicately handled. They have long days, and you just really have to be able to get them to do things by talking to them in a manner that is soothing and calming. And Kier's definitely not the person for that. So I think she really didn't meet up to their expectations on that part.
What did you? I almost wish that she spoke to the girl as a matter of fact, where this is what's going on, and then addressed the hairdresser as well, because I think the main issue was that the girl was getting extensions put in,
Right.
But she completely seemed to ignore the other people in the party that were involved. There's a makeup artist, there's a hair artist. So I wonder if she just maybe addressed them all, if it would have been a little bit different instead of ignoring them.
Right. I think she was so laser focused on getting this one model to get out there that, you know, she really just was too aggressive.
Oh, Kier. And then
Kier.
she had to walk, too.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was really funny that DVF didn't realize that, you know, she was walking because she was asked to. I think when she first saw Kier walk out on the runway, she thought that Kier was just wanting to join the pack.
It was so funny. And, like, Kier, like, when she walked on the runway, she wasn't, like, looking like an intern trying to fill the last spot. Like, she made sure that, like, she walked the runway as Naomi would want her to walk the runway, you know?
Oh, yeah. She's strutting her
so
stuff.
You have to appreciate the effort.
Oh, yeah. She had a good smile on, and she was really into it. She was loving every minute.
And DVF was so cute afterwards when she realized what she was doing. She was so proud of her.
Yeah, she said that she really held her own. And so I think she got some points from DVF just from being able to pull that off.
You know what? This is why I, like, thought that it would be Brittany and Kier as the final two, because I feel like when DVF looks at Kier, she looks at her with, like, such affection and knows that she does a really good job. And I don't see the same type of relationship with Amanda. And maybe that's just, I don't know, what they show on TV, obviously. But from what I took about it, she always seemed to be more proud of Kier.
Absolutely. She's always talking about how far Kier has come along and that, yes, she acknowledges that Kier has this, you know, bitchy side, but she also sees in Kier potential for change. And we don't really see her, like you said, talk so passionately about Amanda. There's a little bit more of a disconnect there. And I don't know if it's because Amanda's younger and she still has more to prove, or if it's something else.
I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both, you know?
So DVF, this is one of my favorite parts. She arrives and she sees the runway for the first time. And she steps out. And then the music's playing and she just starts dancing. And I think it just really embodies her spirit. And I love seeing that. And, you know, they break out into this dance party with Jessica and Stephanie. And, you know, everyone just is sort of relaxed before this big, you know, stressful show. So it's nice to see them have a little bit of fun.
It was awesome. Like, DVS is this powerhouse woman with this huge brand. Like, really, like, she's just a woman who's having a good time and enjoying life. She's awesome. It was lovely to see that.
It was so nice. So then,
it just, like, makes you realize that you can all take a break, like, no matter how stressful the situation you're in is. But, like, it's not that serious. Like, everything kind of figures itself out. Like, stop and dance and listen to the music, you know?
Absolutely. And I think it's very unique to DVF. I don't see a lot of designers kind of following suit with the way she runs things. And, you know, I really appreciate being able to see that side of her.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So then, let's see. We go to the cold dress rehearsal. And you know, we see a little bit of the models that are involved, and there are a lot of famous people that are running or that are going to be part of the show. We see Kendall Jenner, we see Candace Swappinall, the Victoria's Secret model, and then, like you mentioned earlier, Naomi Campbell is going to walk. So DVS is pulling all the stops.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge show.
So then, one of the things that they have to do is seating. They need to get about 800 people seated in 5 minutes. That is a huge undertaking. But, you know, they're told that they just have to be cool, calm, and collected, but they also need to hustle. And then we see Kier, you know, and she's greeting the bloggers, and she ends up recognizing a lot of them. And she's a little bit embarrassed about seating them because she sees herself as the help. What did you think about that?
Well, first of all, it just makes me uncomfortable because I feel like, I mean, I have a blog as well, too, and I just hate the reputation that bloggers get. But, like, see, these bloggers, like, all look so pretentious that I'm like, who do you people think you are? And I'm like, Kier, like, you are here working for DVF. So, like, how do you consider yourself the help, you know?
Right. She should be humble. You know, she's been told over and over by DVF that she needs to not be bitchy and just, be a normal person. And it's so
like
difficult
you
for
are
her.
jealous of these people because you're sitting them, but like backstage all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Realize the opportunity that's in front of you.
Yeah. So, Amanda thinks that she's delusional. And, oh, you know what? Someone's joined us in the studio. Anastacia's here, and she's just putting on her headphones, and she'll be joining us shortly.
Did she just come straight from Asia?
Hello.
Hello?
Hey.
Welcome back, Anna.
Hey, well, good to see everybody.
Good to see you.
What's
So-
the seat here?
We are just talking about when Kier is seating all of the guests.
Okay.
And she sees a lot of the bloggers that she actually has worked with before.
Right.
And she gets little pretentious and says that, she's embarrassed and that she's seen as the help.
Right. And I thought that was kind of strange just because that's still a huge deal. Even if you're a blogger and you're working in DVF event, you're one of the top 3. I was thinking you're embarrassed about that? It's a huge opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the blogging world. I know, Kristina, that you are. But are there a lot of blogger events or opportunities where you guys really get to know one another? Because she made it seem like she was so embarrassed because she had these relationships with all these other bloggers.
I don't want to speak for Kier and her blogging status. I don't know what it is like for her. I mean, I know when I go to Fashion Week or when I go to events, I recognize a lot of people.
Okay.
But there's a lot of bloggers, you know what I mean? So whether everyone actually really does know each other or not is I don't know. It's up to the person, you know?
Of blogging too, I didn't really like that. I don't know if you guys already touched over this, but how Amanda was downplaying her blog a little bit. Did you guys get to that scene?
Well, she's kind of done that all along because she feels like she's so much more qualified than Kier because all Kier has is her blog.
Right. I didn't like that.
Right, and she always plays up her corporate experience.
Right, her corporate internships. So.
And then one of the fun things we get to see are the other girls join in on the fun. They're all invited back for the fashion show. And so we see Brittany reunite with her favorites, Abigail and Tiffany. And it was nice to see all the girls together again.
Okay, my only comment on this is, 1, it's so nice to see all the girls. 2, I'm sorry, but the girls couldn't even get a seat.
I know.
I
was
standing room in the back,
thing.
and I just felt like give these girls a damn seat. It's 8 minutes long. There could be 8 other people who don't need seats. They were part of the program.
Right, because especially
my
since they did invite bloggers, I feel like they were just easily as qualified as bloggers to have seats.
So, I mean, I think that they should have definitely been granted a seat at the very least.
Agreed. Especially since this was the girls' last challenge. You would think that,
Totally.
they could sit in on it.
Right.
Another comment about Kier, she said that she was excited to see the girls because it's her chance to rub it in their faces.
I know.
Kier.
She kept her personality consistent throughout the season.
Yeah. You can't argue
See,
that.
I wonder if Kier, realizes the stuff that she's saying. I think she does totally, but I can't help but, I feel like I have a really bitchy sense of humor, and the people that are close to me, think it's funny and know I'm kidding around, but everyone else is like, wow, that girl's probably such a bitch. And I feel like it kind of is the same with Kier sometimes. She says that, and it sounds, so snotty, and part of her probably means it, but she's just joking around.
Right. I agree. I
don't know.
I think she also kind of has that
opinion.
facial expression. You know how they say some girls have resting bitch face or something? So I think that she's not the only one on the show that has that, but I think that contributes to, her problem of how she comes across, her presentation.
Right.
Totally. I also think she plays into it.
One of the qualifications to be cast on the show, resting bitch face, personally.
Yeah.
So one of the hiccups during this challenge is the lineup. The lineup isn't in order, and that was Amanda's job at rehearsal. And we see in the middle of all this tension, Brittany really step in and take control.
Right.
Yeah, she handled that really seamlessly. I thought she did show a lot of leadership, like Stephanie and DVF saw. And I feel like that I was able to tell the difference between Kier and Brittany in that scene because they're both strong candidates. But when Kier is frantic and working hard, she's really frantic. She's all over the place. And Brittany can be working hard, but she has more control of her situation and her demeanor is more calm. So it makes everyone else feel more at ease. But Kier turns that into, I'm working harder because she's showing how hard she's working.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt about that.
She really needs to prove herself.
Mm-hmm.
But Kier says that Brittany only turns it on when DVF is watching, which I don't think is the case.
I don't believe that.
No.
I thought that was a
you
low
guys
blow.
believe that or no?
No.
Yeah.
So the runway show is a hit. Everything goes smoothly. DVF comes out, and I think that was a really nice moment.
Yeah, did you guys talk about during the rehearsal, though, when the girls walked in and DVF was dancing?
Yes.
And they really got to see her personality.
yes.
I thought that was so sweet.
That was our favorite part of that episode.
I
We love
know.
that.
It was
She's
so
just such a humble
sweet.
person, relatable. Love her.
Totally.
Yeah.
So then the girls meet DVF at the studio, and we have, all of the contestants there, and we know that she's going to announce the winner.
Mm-hmm.
There's champagne ready to go. And Stephanie asks all the girls who they see as being the next ambassador. And, Abigail, of course, is rooting for Brittany, Cody for Kier,
Mm-hmm.
and
Gina for Amanda.
Yes,
Her
Gina
sorority
for Amanda.
sister.
Totally. And DVF, says a few words. She's really grown to know and love these girls. And the first person she addresses is Kier. And she says that, Kier was incredible. She was really impressive today. And that, Kier has come a really long way. And DVF thought that she would have an early exit. But she is a hard worker, like we've said before, and that she is a good candidate. But we actually see her say goodbye to her right after that. Did you guys expect that?
No.
No, I was kind of wondering how this whole announcement was going to go down. We've seen America's Next Top Model and how they kind of cut people off. So when it got down to the top three, I was like, okay, what grand gesture is it going to be? And I really did feel bad for Kier because it was kind of awkward because she was praising her and saying all these great things. And in the middle of the praise, or like towards the end, she cuts her out. And it's so weird because it's like she's on this high and then it's like, but it's not you.
Yeah, definitely wasn't the setup
Right.
for it at all.
Right.
So
But I guess it's like better to be let down like that than be like, girl, you're like, get out of here,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was, you can tell that Kier was not expecting that at all.
No.
Yeah, I think she thought she'd at least top three is pretty far. I think she thought maybe at least top two because she kept saying throughout the episode that Brittany was obviously her strongest competition. So I thought that she thought at least it would be her and Brittany at the end. And if she had lost to Brittany, Kier was going to take it hard regardless, but maybe it would have been like, okay, well, I lost against Brittany, but it's like you lost against Amanda and Brittany, and they had just been criticizing Amanda about what she had really done, and so I don't think Kier was expecting that.
And even earlier in the episode, Kier was saying that Amanda had made a comment that they were all neck and neck, and Kier was like, no, we're not neck and neck.
Yeah, she was like, what have you done? And Amanda said she had 3 corporate internships, and So.
Right. So then, Kiera's eliminated, and DVF asked Brittany what today was to her, and Brittany says that she's really grown and she knows what she wants to be. And then she asks Amanda the same thing. Amanda gets really emotional. She said that victory walk that DVF did really triggered something in her.
Yeah.
So then we find out the winner, Brittany. Brittany,
Yay!
I know.
Congrats,
Congratulations, Brittany.
Brittany, so well deserved. DVF says that Brittany has a combo of style, leadership, and elegance, which I totally agree with. and she wins a contract for 1 year to be brand ambassador for DVF.
And she gets to travel the world. I love when DVF said that at the end. And then Brittany had called her grandmother at the end.
Yes.
And she had
Oh,
DVF
that's so
make the
cute.
announcement to her grandmother, which I thought was really sweet.
That was so
It's full
sweet.
circle since her grandmother was a
really,
designer.
really cute.
Yeah.
And then we hear Jessica say that she's sad she won't be working with Amanda. And if the not so nice, or this, I think Stephanie says, if the not so nice Brittany comes out, you never know what will happen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dun,
But
dun,
Jessica
dun.
definitely does not look happy at all.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
paying
it was just
attention to
funny
her.
because like DVF said something about like, oh, now you get to work with your best friend Jessica. Like, how awkward is that?
So awkward. But, you know, all of the girls have changed, and each one of them has won. They've had an experience that they won't ever forget. And, you know, I think that we've all learned something from watching the show
Yes.
this entire season.
Definitely.
And as far as news and gossip,
AfterBuzz TV News.
we have learned that there is potentially going to be a season 2.
Yes. Yeah, we were excited to hear that.
Correct.
My friend actually sent me an email a few weeks ago. She had applied for the first season, and she said, hey, it looks like they're doing this again. So I told her to sign up. So I'll be excited if they're doing a second season.
Yeah, and if there is a second season, we'll be back, hopefully, hosting the
And
after
also
show.
I saw Brittany.
Or on it.
I know.
Yeah.
You could be on it, Kristina. And then I saw Brittany post today something like day 1 of the job or something. So looks like she's already started, and she was modeling the, I guess, new collection for DVF, winter or spring, I'm not sure. So
Awesome.
it's exciting for her.
Well, it's been so much fun doing this after show with all of you guys. And
Yes, I loved it.
I loved it too.
Thanks, guys, for watching.
Thank you so much. Leave comments on what you guys thought about Brittany being the winner. And we'll hopefully see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Where can we find you guys on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at Stay Classy Anna with 2 N's, and the same thing on Instagram. Thanks, guys.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Teresa Jane.
And you can find me, Kristina, sorry guys, you can't see me, on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Zias. It's MissZias. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.